have a special treat here for you. I am very honored to have on the one, the only, or should I say the sage from South Central, Larry Elder. Sir, it's a real honor to have you on.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so let's get right into it, the debate tonight. What do you, because I've been saying this for a while, I think that right now the only race that you need to be paying attention to, I think it's mostly a three-person race, and that's between Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, and especially Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, because they're going to take on Biden as the anti-establishment person. What says you?
I think you're right. You know, I kind of thought the dark horse in this race was going to be Tulsi Gabbard. The way she took down Kamala Harris was just brilliant. I've seen her interviewed a number of times. She's calm. She's a vet. She's not insane. She opposed third trimester abortions, but she didn't even make the cut this time. So much for my dark horse. So I think you're right. It comes down to those three people. And Joe Biden is being pushed so much further to the left. I don't think it matters which one emerges. Bernie Sanders, of course, is a self-declared socialist. Elizabeth Warren might as well call herself one, and Joe Biden is becoming increasingly left-wing, so I don't think it really matters which one ultimately emerges.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tulsi was just a little too sane for the party, unfortunately.
I think so.
So, what do you, okay, so Joe Biden, it does kind of scare me. We make the joke around here. I don't know if you remember during the Republican primaries, even during the general election, people kept going out there saying, do you trust Donald Trump to have the nuclear launch codes? Do you trust Donald Trump to have his hand on the button? I don't trust Joe Biden to have his hand on the button. We said earlier, he might confuse it for his life alert button. I'm being honest with you, Larry. He honestly scares me.
He can't remember which decade MLK and Robert Kennedy got assassinated. He can't remember which was the last president who refused to reauthorize the assault weapons ban. He can't remember whether it was Theresa May or Margaret Thatcher he was talking to.
He doesn't even remember what
the kids from Parkland came to visit him when he was VP, when in fact it took place a year after he left office. I mean, this guy's got some issues.
I mean, he doesn't even remember when he was vice president, for crying out loud.
He said that he came out immediately and opposed the Iraq war. No, he didn't. He voted for the war. It didn't come out until almost 2 years later. But he said, I came out immediately. Even CNN fact-checked him on that and said he was wrong.
So why is the party, and is it because the polls are showing that people think he can win? They think he can win, and Trump, of course, is the most evil person ever, so they just want to get rid of him. But you got to be ashamed if this is who you're putting up to take out Donald Trump, a guy that can barely remember where he is? I mean, it's sad.
Well, keep in mind, their opinion of Donald Trump is so low, they believe pretty much a potted plant could beat him. So they're not all that concerned. They just want somebody who they think can ultimately stand up there and win, and they think virtually any of these guys can. And also, don't forget, Joe Biden, it really is a front runner for one reason only, and that's black votes. He was side by side with Obama for 8 years. He built up a lot of equity with the black community. So far, Joe Biden has been able to get a lot of support from the black voters. And as you know, they are a huge role in the primaries, particularly in South Carolina, where almost half of the voters are black. So that's what's holding him up. He loses that support, he's done. He's toast.
Yeah, that's right. And we've seen in polls that I think it is South Carolina, he's at like 41% or something like that, some outrageous number. I'm confused. I don't get it. Why would the black community, is it because of Obama, they feel more attachment to Joe Biden than they would a Kamala Harris or Cory Booker?
I think so, and I think it's name recognition. I think a lot of people still don't know who Kamala Harris is and don't really know who Cory Booker is. But everybody knows Joe. He was side by side with Obama. Obama picked him. People love Obama, the Democrats do, and so that's what's holding him up, and that's pretty thin. And I think ultimately he's going to be taken down. I don't know who's going to be the nominee, but I don't think it's going to be Joe.
Well, so wait a minute now. So who's your money on?
I think it's going to be Warren, if I had to bet right now.
And Warren I don't know about you, but Warren scares me a whole lot more than Joe.
You're bothered by free college tuition. You're bothered by debt forgiveness. You're bothered by Medicare for all. You're bothered by not legalizing crossing the border, making that no longer a criminal offense. You're bothered by raising taxes on rich people. You're bothered by $15 minimum wage. You're bothered by a Green New Deal. What's wrong with you, Guillermo?
I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't think it doesn't matter who it is, but if you've got Joe Biden who's standing up there and he's going to be bookended by Warren and by Bernie during tonight's debate, do you think they attack him? Because I don't know if you know this, but the two socialist campaigns, the outward ones, we should say, the Bernie and Warren camp, they have like a united front. They're trying not to attack each other, play nice.
Right.
You think
Right.
they hone in and go after Joe on their own, or what do they end up doing? What's their game plan for tonight?
I think they go after Biden. If you want the nomination, you've got to go after Biden. If you want to go after Biden, you have to undermine his support within the black community. So you're going to hear a lot of stuff about racism, a lot of stuff about institutional racism, and a lot of stuff about what Joe Biden said or didn't say regarding both those things. So I think they're going to go after him. If you want the nomination, you got to go after him.
How much of tonight's debate is going to be focused? Listen, we're in Houston, Texas. Univision is there. But besides Jim Acosta, you've got Donald Trump's favorite journalist, quote unquote, Jorge Ramos. Is tonight going to be an immigration debate? Is this going to be a bunch of race baiting, which wouldn't be a surprise from what we're usually used to with these people?
Well, of course it's going to be. Donald Trump is, of course, a bigot, a racist, a fascist, a xenophobe, so they'll be emphasizing all of that. And this will also be emphasizing how the Democrats contrast themselves with the cold, cruel policies of Donald Trump on immigration. And as you know, Donald Trump just got a huge victory from the Supreme Court. He can now require these so-called migrants to apply for asylum in the first country that they come to, as opposed to traveling through a bunch of countries coming through here. It's a massive, massive victory, and I suspect that'll be brought up tonight as well.
Oh, yes, and that'll probably be another reason to stack the court, Larry, most likely.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so as we wrap up here, Larry Elder, again, I'm so honored that you were able to come on this show. 7 o'clock right here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED, sir. We really appreciate it. Which one of these candidates, do any of them scare you at all, or do any of them give you some pause?
Not really. Again, once this becomes a binary choice, it's not going to matter about these polls right now. You have to ask the American people, do you really want a $15 minimum wage? Do you really want a Green New Deal? Do you really want Medicare for all? These things do not test well. Do you really want to decriminalize crossing the border illegally? These things don't test well. And reparations, my goodness, what a killer on that. And they all are in favor of that except for Biden. And Biden has said something similar to that. So it really doesn't matter. Once people look at these views, how expensive they are, how outrageous they are, how un-American they are, I think Donald Trump gets reelected.
Now, I got to get your opinion because I don't know if you know this, but there's a hotly, at least CNN would like you to think, there's an equally as hostily contested contest on the Republican side with the Joe Walshes and the Bill Welds and the Appalachian Trail man.
Who? I mean, honestly, you see all these states canceling their primaries. I don't know what the point is behind Joe Walsh, what the point is behind Weld. It doesn't matter. Donald Trump is enormously popular among Republicans, 88% by one poll. I've seen other polls having it more than 90%. This is about as high as you can get. Even George Herbert Walker Bush, after the first Persian Gulf War, saw numbers around that high. So Donald Trump is enormously popular. It doesn't matter what these two people are doing. The only reason they're getting any publicity at all is because CNN and MSNBC are putting him on because he's slamming Trump.
So, yeah, and slamming Trump is the best way if you're a Republican to get FaceTime. But
that's right.
Is it just like, are they going to write a book after this? Do they just want some attention? Walsh even came out and said he's running, but he's not running for issues. It's not about the issues. It's about Donald Trump. And not only are they wasting their time, I don't care that they waste their time. They're wasting our time.
You know, when I was a kid, there was a guy named Harold Stassen. My mom told me that he was running for office for the fifth or sixth time. I looked it up one time. I think he ran for president about 8 or 9 times. There was one time when he was a legitimate contender, and that was it. Every other time, he just went out and ran every 4 years. Nobody knew why, and it was kind of a running joke. So I don't know why certain people do things that are virtually suicidal. Joe Walsh was a congressperson for one term. He didn't get reelected. Maybe he wants to make himself viable again. Who the hell knows? And it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think that because these are all guys are old geezers. I mean, Weld. I mean, he ran. I'm pretty sure you know about this. Weld. He was the VP nominee on the Libertarian side last time around.
Right.
Everyone. They have absolutely nothing to lose. They have no standing in the party. No one was looking at these people to run in 2024, 2028. If they want to make this serious, I think you have to have like an Amash or a Senate. You have to have someone that's currently has something to lose, a current sitting member in the House or the Senate to run. But until this, it's like you said, it's just a laughable thing.
Or some serious money to spend on it, like Ross Perot. And these guys, for far as I know, don't have any money like that. So what's the point? The point, I guess, is to make a statement. Maybe it beats golfing. Maybe it beats gardening. Maybe it gives them something to do. You tell me.
Maybe they're just bored. Those old retirement homes can get pretty lonely, Larry. So
they can. You can only watch so many reruns of Breaking Bad, and then you get bored.
Larry Elder, a real honor, sir. You can catch him right here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED at 7 o'clock weeknights. Larry, thank you so much for coming on, sir. We got to do this again.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Just hook up. Stop this. Stop the clock. Stop this.
Welcome. There you go. Welcome to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Jairus Jackson and John Meccico on the mics. And today's the big day, D-Day. Not the holiday you're thinking of. It's the Democratic primary. There we go. Thank you.
Or as Guillermo called it, Dumb Day.
Dumb Day. So you guys just heard Larry Elder, the man.
It was great, by the way. Love the sage.
The sage. And if you ever listen to, if you like Motown, Larry's the guy to listen to.
Even if you're a socialist, but if you like Motown, you should still listen.
If you're a Motown,
because you'll still find something to love.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed listening to his show, and that was great that he was on. He had some interesting comments.
Yeah.
He thought, like you, that Tulsi Gabbard was going to be that dark horse, but that didn't materialize. He was surprised by that, as you are.
Yeah.
I think you're just more upset because you don't get to look at her.
Well, I'm not excited to look at Amy Klobuchar for 3 hours.
He kind of in agreement with everybody else that the top three are Warren and Bernie.
Well, except look at this. Our big-time hosts are disagreeing with each other because Bill O'Reilly thinks it's a two-person race. He's got it even smaller than we do.
Yeah, that's true because O'Reilly thinks it's Warren and Biden. He thinks Bernie will. Bernie's got his established core people that are going to vote for him. There's not going to be any more people jumping on Bernie's train.
Yeah.
So that's what Bill O'Reilly says. I think actually, I think Larry Elder though. I think he also said that he thinks Warren comes out of this. He agrees with me that he's not sure that Biden makes it to the finish line. So
really,
yeah, at least that's what I gathered from that. So but it's interesting because Bernie's a self-proclaimed socialist, and Pocahontas might as well be, right? Yeah. So it's
15 seconds, folks. 15 seconds, folks. Stay right there.
The Central Valley's home for all things Campaign 2020. Talk Radio 1680 KGED. And now, Guillermo Moreno, Jairus Jackson, and John Meccico.
I want to give a big thank you to... I'm sorry. I want to give a big thank you to the sage Larry Elder for coming on. God, he's great. I love him.
Yeah. I just said a few seconds ago to our Facebook audience, man, I love the Motown, man. I love it. He brings it back.
Even if you're a socialist.
You gotta like it.
But you're not going to like what Larry has to say on the issues, but you'll love his music at least. So there you go. At least you got that going for you.
Even a socialist can like Motown. So,
exactly.
Yeah. But no, we were just saying that he was just like you regarding he thought that Tulsi Gabbard was going to be the...
She's the only normal one in the whole race.
Yeah, well, is she... if she doesn't get on the stage in October, she's done. I don't think she's going to continue.
Well, listen, we're also of the belief, Guillermo and I said at least, that she's really making a play for VP, possibly Joe Biden's VP, put some color in that white mayonnaise stew. Maybe that's what we're doing.
Maybe. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that realize they don't have a shot at the presidency and maybe are hoping for a VP role. That's possible. He also thought, he thought it was a three-man race like most of us think, although Bill O'Reilly thinks it's a three-man race.
Yeah, so it's funny. Our big-time contributors here to Talk Radio 1680 are affiliate. We've got a little battle going on because you've got Larry Elder, who's of the belief that it's a three-person race, which is Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. Bill O'Reilly thinks it's actually a two-person race, just Warren and Biden.
Yeah, well, again, what he said was that he felt like Bernie is going to get all the traction that he has. There's not going if you're a Bernie supporter, you're a hardcore Bernie supporter. There's not really anybody that's going to jump tracks and get on Bernie's train. So, and I think he's probably right about that. I mean,
Yeah, Bernie's not. No one's waking up deciding that they're going to be a Bernie supporter today. He's not getting any new. He's got all the few old people that are into his little garbage, and he's got all the young people that love it for obvious reasons because they want a bunch of free stuff. He's not getting any new people.
Although he's a self-proclaimed socialist, which really speaks bad about our young people. It just really.
Yeah, young people suck.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Warren, let's face it, she really is a self-proclaimed socialist, whether she says it or not. That's exactly what she is.
Self-proclaimed. She likes to claim that she's a Native American, and that's a lie. But when she claims that she's a socialist, that is 110% true.
All right, but he said the one thing that I have been saying. Not sure that Biden has the stamina to make it to the finish line.
He did talk.
What do you think?
I mean, didn't he already, like, not that, a few weeks ago, he took a break off the campaign trail. They literally had to pull him off so he could relax, soak his big toe or something for the weekend. I don't know what was going on.
I'm telling you, it's like that movie Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, it's going to be like that at the finish line. You're just going to have to prop him up and hope that he fakes everybody out. And I'll tell you, tonight, he has to go on the offense. If he does not go on the offense, or else he's just sitting there waiting to get punched by everybody else. He's got to have a different game plan.
He does not have the courage to strike first. Well, if he did, my opinion of him would go up a little bit, but he does not have the courage to hit somebody first. Come on.
He needs to.
All those people up there need mental counseling. They all need a lot, but he's not going to do that.
He would wipe out half the floor if he could do that, because he does. People for some reason like him. There's a lot because he's Barack Obama's guy, and that's what Larry Elder said. They remember that Barack Obama picked him, so therefore it carries some weight. I don't know why.
I can't believe that's enough.
Yeah, because
in the black, really? So you're going to choose a guy who hung out with a black guy over an actual black guy?
Yeah, especially
bootleg Obama or an actual black woman? Kamala Harris? Come on.
Especially when Barack Obama says, Joe, you don't have to do this.
Obama's not even his biggest fan of the black guy that you're clamming to. He's not even his biggest fan anymore.
His BFF. He's like, no, I don't think it's. Yeah, it is funny. It is comical when you think about it.
Yeah.
So Larry went on to say that he thought that if he loses that black vote, clearly he's done, and he is.
Absolutely, he is. We even talked about it. What is it?
It's. So
he's at like 41% with the black community in South Carolina.
Do you think the black community, though, is like, that's my guy and that's what I'm going to vote for him? Or do you think they're watching him closely because they're
not watching? No, but black people have never really cared about who they vote for. They just vote for whoever has the D and they keep suffering. So don't give them credit. They're actually going to pay attention to who they vote for.
I give them more credit.
Blacks are the laziest. I don't give them no damn credit.
No.
Blacks are the laziest voters out there.
Look,
they keep suffering. They keep voting for D. Mexican minorities, period, tend to be some of the lazy. They don't hold anybody that they vote to account. They don't hold their feet to the fire whatsoever. That's why it must be so nice to be a Democrat, because you get all these minorities and they're the most lazy voters. And I don't mean like getting out to vote. I mean holding the people who they put in office accountable. Minorities suck at doing that.
I think that Trump has changed that, though. I think Trump has made every ethnicity of people start to pay attention a little bit.
So?
I do. Because there was a report today. I didn't bring it with me, but there was a report today talking about that the African-American vote and some of the other minority vote is really starting to look at, really starting to pay attention to what Trump's saying. They may not have crossed over yet, but they're not as committed to the Democratic side as people think. I'm gonna pull that article up.
I mean, that's great news. But.
Yeah, no, it is great news. I think it absolutely. As a matter of fact, I may be able to pull it up on the break. When you asked him who does he see coming out of the race as the winner, he said Warren.
And I've been hearing that a lot from conservatives.
Yeah, and I'm fearing it.
Warren's scared. Guys, Biden
doesn't scare me.
Who can't even remember where he currently... What room am I in? Biden does not scare me one bit, all right? But Warren does. I'm not going to lie.
She does to me, too. Not because of her policy, just because women may just, like, lose their mind going, oh, my gosh, let's vote for her.
Well, and the young kid, and she's going to have no problem. Unlike Biden, and no one really has mentioned this, Warren's going to, if you like Bernie, it's not much of a stretch to vote for Warren. And if you like Warren, it's not much of a stretch to vote for Bernie. But the problem is it is a huge stretch for a diehard Warren supporter to support Joe Biden. It is a huge stretch for a diehard Joe or Bernie Sanders supporter to cross over to Team Biden. That's almost And again, we saw this in state after state where it was a small group of people, but in certain districts it mattered. The Bernie people stayed home because they couldn't swallow Hillary Clinton. I think Biden is going to be even harder to swallow than Hillary Clinton if you're an outright socialist and you're trying to go up against the quote-unquote moderate establishment wing of the Democrat Party.
Absolutely. No, I think Biden... But you do make a really good point,
and they're not going to do it year to year. They're thinking, we already put up with the establishment pick. We already had to swallow, just like Joe Biden's wife said. We already had to take it from Hillary Clinton. We aren't going to do it again with another establishment pick that's going to leave us down. And then we'll probably have an insurgency of like a Green Party candidate or something, a Jill Stein. Who the hell knows?
But you make a really good point that if for some reason something happened to Elizabeth Warren where she couldn't do this, Bernie would get those votes.
Yes,
and
it's
if
not a
something happened to
stretch.
Bernie,
it's not a heavy lift at all for a Warren supporter to support Bernie or vice versa.
That I never thought about that like that, but that's actually true, and that would put Biden in a he would lose.
Now we've talked about before the United Front, the United Socialist Front. Sounds like a political party in Europe, probably is, but the United Socialist Front that Warren and Bernie have put up together to they're not going to attack each other because they're basically going after the same votes. Do you think they have like some meeting, some dark meeting in a parking garage, and they have a decision like, listen, one of us needs to get out for the good of the movement? Now, if they have that talk right now, it's got to be Bernie. The consensus has to be that Bernie's the one that has to get out, and Warren has to take the message forward.
No. I thought where you were going was to say that Bernie and Warren are teaming up and say we're going to attack Biden together.
No, they are. But eventually, instead, because here's the thing, they may not want to have that sloppy fight against two socialists out in front of people. So instead, they might get together and they say, listen, for the good of the party and for the good of socialism in America, God forbid, let's move this movement forward by one of us getting out of the race because, as we know, our supporters love each other and they'll have no problem voting for me or you. I think if they had that conversation right now, it would only make sense that Bernie's the one that has to bow out.
That would make sense. And
it wouldn't make sense. Warren's on the upswing right now.
So is Bernie VP?
No. That's only thing worse than that would be like a Mao Stalin ticket. They're not going to go. They're not going to go that left wing.
And Bernie would do that, I think.
You think Bernie would bow out?
I think he would because it would be his dream come true that he actually played a prominent role in socialism coming to America, and I think he would take.
Well, I think he's already done that.
Well, he's
already played a.
But it's not here yet. But he's played a huge role in introducing. I mean, in 2016, most thought he was nuts. Now everybody's leaning his way.
Yeah.
So he has had a very important role in this, but we're not there yet. If it got there where Elizabeth Warren became president, he would actually, he would actually be like, yeah, that was me. That was all me.
He would take all the credit.
He would. And
he's basically the father of the Special Olympics squad. That's what I call him. Talk Radio 1680 KGED 559-442-1680 559-442-1680. Just a tad bit over 30 minutes until we take you live to Houston, Texas for the Democratic Party primary debate. We got Biden in the middle of Warren and Sanders.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. And here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
And then we get stuck in And then we got the fake Mexican and the real Mexican hanging out on the side by each other.
If they get into a little tiff, a little Spanish-speaking tiff, I'm going to die laughing.
And then ABC, just please have your cameras pan over to bootleg Obama so we can see his eyes like the deer. Oh my gosh.
Spartacus.
Even the fake Mexican knows Spanish better than me.
Oh my, yeah, no, that would be fantastic. Yeah, Beto's going to lose it today.
I hope he does.
Halfway through, he's going to lose it.
You know what? Honestly, my biggest hope is Beto just gives us one of these.
This is up.
Just give us one of those. I know the DNC said don't do it, but screw the DNC, Beto. You got to do you.
He's desperate.
He's got to speak his truth, John.
He's desperate. He's got to do it. He's got to do it.
Talk Radio 1680 KGED. See you on the other side of this. All right, everybody, just moments away from the Democratic debate. They haven't walked out on, well, we usually have the debate on if Andrew Yang is going to wear a suit jacket or not. Do you know that he actually...
He's not going to wear a tie.
But he wears glasses. like normally wears
does?
glasses. Yeah.
So is he wearing contacts or is he just blind up there?
Probably blind.
Yeah.
He's probably just, he's probably to steal a line from your theme song, he's probably just Stevie Wonder in it while he's up there on stage. He's just Stevie Wonder in it while he's up there on stage, most likely.
Well, then how's he going to shoot a jump shot and beat Trump in basketball?
I don't know. But so he was up there. Bernie was up there by it. Yeah, they were all up on the stages throughout the day.
He should wear glasses and look a little more intelligent.
Then he could really be the smart Asian.
Right?
All right, let's dip in here for a second. Our very own Kevin McCarthy, House Minority Leader from Bakersfield, not too far away. How far away is Bakersfield from here? 2 hours?
Yeah. I thought it was about 200 miles. I think it's closer to 3 hours, isn't it?
If you got a strong enough right arm, you could throw a rock and land in
I don't know. The
Bakersfield.
only way I know is because if I have to drive to Las Vegas on occasion.
Let's listen.
Whatever we do solves the problem. So he's gathering all the information, which you should do at the very beginning. The Attorney General was in the meeting as well, looking at ways, how do we make sure that this never happens again? How do we protect law-abiding citizens on their rights as well? And that's what he's doing, and he'll come forward with where he's going. I know there's a number of things that he's looking at. Yes, ma'am.
Give you a timeline, sir?
I think it'll be very shortly.
Senator McCarthy, the president coming here tonight, his comments on the city of Baltimore and Congressman Cummings' district in particular, specifically calling it disgusting and a rat and rodent-infested mess. Are those comments appropriate? Do you think the president needs to clarify or apologize for them in any way tonight during his remarks?
Look, I think the president made a very good case here of why many major cities have challenges.
All right, 30 seconds, folks. Stay tuned. Looks like they're having a nice little shindig. Why are the House Republicans meeting in Baltimore, of all places?
I think it's a big dinner. Good money.
I know, but come on. There's no Texas.
There's a lot of old
There's no
money.
Texas oil billionaire that would want to do
money
this.
in Baltimore. A lot of
All
old
right,
money
I
in
guess.
Baltimore.
Back in 10 seconds. Stay black.
And now, the three ringleaders trying their best to make sense of this circus. Guillermo Moreno, Jairus Jackson, and John Meccico.
We were talking during the commercial break about when we go to break, we usually say stay black. And John's like, well, since we're together this week, I really should be saying stay half black.
Yes.
Because that's how stay half black.
Stay Oreo. Stay something, man.
Stay Cory Booker. Isn't he like a mutt? Or he's a mutt of something.
I don't know what he is. He's a joke is what he is.
But, anyway, we did find, because we were mentioning this about the black community.
So,
but what was this?
So there was an article by Powerline, it was called, and this was yesterday. It said that the poll data suggests a reversal of traditional roles. More conservatives and more centrist Democratic whites were once the tempering force within party ranks. Now, in some of the most controversial issues currently under debate, African Americans, who make up an estimated 25% of the Democratic primary votes, have emerged as a force for more moderate stands as white Democrats have moved sharply left. And the one thing that they talked about in particular was abortion. So let me see where I can find
Now,
that.
did you hear at all when myself and when Guillermo, when we were on last night, we had Molly come in. And
I was so mad because it sounded like a great interview, and I had to head to the rescue mission.
Yeah. So she actually made this point, which is you talk about the blacks being the more moderate in the party and the whites becoming more liberal.
It sounded like a great interview.
She's been out to many protests and rallies, and she was out at one yesterday, 9/11, apolitical one, but I'll leave it to liberals to make something that's completely apolitical and pro-America political. But she made the point, which, and in my experience, I completely agree with, and this kind of shows. White liberals are the worst. I'd hang out with a black or Mexican liberal any day. Give me a tranny liberal. As long as they're not white, I'll take a hermaphrodite tranny liberal.
Oh Lord!
Over a these waspy white Whole Foods eating liberals are the worst this planet has to offer.
Well, let's see the numbers. I think they bear you out correct. So this is what it said.
This is proving it to be true.
Yeah, it is in a sense. So blacks are certainly less liberal than white Democrats when it comes to the issue of abortion. 97% of white Democratic primary voters agree that the procedure should be totally legal, compared with only 2/3 of black Democrat voters. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
97% versus 66%.
It's a huge difference.
That is huge. They had some other economic wise. Blacks tended to be a little more progressive. 84% of black Democrats said that both are very important, but 20% more.
So that's interesting there. So if it's a social issue, the white liberals are more liberal. But if it's an economic issue, it's the black liberals.
Yes.
So how funny is that?
Yes.
So if you break it down on an economic basis, when it comes to money, all of a sudden the white liberals become a little conservative.
But to me, that favors Trump because he's putting more money in everybody's pocket. So
Correct.
then you ended up concentrating on more of those social issues like abortion, which you would say, you know what, some of these people are going to swing Trump's way.
Yeah.
So
And it's not a lot. Everyone out there, Trump will never get 60% of the black. 60? Well, we're trying to get 20, 25 on a good. We're not
if
60.
Donald Trump got 15 to 18% of the black vote,
Yes.
it'd be over like by a landslide.
Yes.
You know, so, and I think, okay, one of the things that really impressed me, what Donald Trump did in 2016, he goes to Detroit with Ben Carson.
Yeah.
And they go to
Love Ben Carson, by the way.
yeah, I do too. I really do. And he goes to Detroit with Ben Carson, and they go to this church. And Trump says a few words. He doesn't ask for any votes. And then he goes out on the streets of Detroit with a bunch of people, a lot of the people from the congregation, and he just starts talking about, we can do this here, and we can do this here, and that can be fixed up like this. And he starts giving ideas of how the city can start rebuilding. Never asked for a vote. And I remember CNN covering this story. And I remember seeing they had one of the deacons from the church saying, it was really nice that he showed up. He said, we're not going to vote for the guy. They were saying, we're not going to vote for the guy, but it was nice that he showed up.
Yeah.
And I was listening to this going, you may not vote for the guy, but there's a whole lot of people right now saying, I don't see Hillary Clinton going to Detroit. I don't see Hillary Clinton coming up with ideas of how Detroit can get better.
Hillary Clinton was just telling them that she has Frank's hot sauce in her purse.
Right. So, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, Trump is very smart about where, understanding that his actions speak louder than his words. And I do think that a lot of the African community, black community is just saying, you know what? You say what you want. I see what he's doing. I see my paycheck. And that counts.
Now, speaking of minorities tonight, we keep hearing in ABC, which has been live streaming, they've been jumping up and down all day doing cartwheels. What do you think? Because tonight they're going to be in Houston, Texas. And you're going to have all these people up there espousing their greatest socialist, Stalin fantasizing ideas that they've had that they should keep private. But unfortunately, in America, there's some parts of America that's so open you can now talk about it loud and proudly, and people will actually follow you for it for some reason.
Yeah.
This is not, especially for like the Democratic Party of Texas. This is your opening course to Texas becoming a purple or blue state, outright socialism. Have these people not heard of incremental change at all? This is not the way. Tearing down border wall, taking away all firearms. This is not day of birthday abortions. This is not, I'm telling you, this is not how Texas Democrats that have secretly been working to make this a purple state for decades. This is not the opening appetizer that they want to give to the state.
I agree with you. This is extremely dangerous, man. I thought about that. I think, first off, it's Beto's home state. Is there somebody else from Texas there?
Castro.
Yeah,
remember we got the fake Mexican and the real Mexican.
So we got two guys from Texas. One of them for sure is going to fall right on his face. I have no doubt about that. He'll just implode. And that'd be Beto or Robert Francis. That would be Robert Francis O'Rourke. He's going to fall. I cannot see him trying to throw a haymaker and landing on anything. But yeah, this is Texas. And now, granted, there's Democrats that live in Texas, and they're going to go there, and you're going to hear a lot of cheers. But you're going to have a lot of people looking at this going, this is just not going to fly in my hometown.
And that's because it even says here, the Democratic National Committee has been holding events in and around Houston, highlighting how their vision for America would be better for Texas suburban voters. Here's the problem, though. If you go there and you tell them all this fine and dandy stuff, but then they turn the TV on tonight and it's anti-American rhetoric, it's day of birth abortion, it's taking away all your firearms, which I don't know if you know this. They love some firearms in Texas.
Yeah.
This is not your opening enclave to turn Texas into a deep blue state.
Yeah, this is extremely interesting. I'm going to be fascinated to see. Matter of fact, I may even look at some Texas newspapers tomorrow just to see what they have to say. The Dallas Star, the Houston Chronicle, I think it is. I think it's what it is. Anyway, it's going to be very, very interesting because I think this is a very dangerous slope for the Democrats to be trying to ride. I just don't. This is not the way that you welcome people into your party, by showing them your literal most extreme. And it's not going to work. And in a state, by the way, in a state that's still
Everyone's acting like Texas is the next I hope it is. Everyone's acting like Texas is the next California. As it stands right now, not one Democrat holds statewide office. As it stands right now, both their senators are Republicans. One of them is one of the most conservative members of the Senate. As it stands right now, the majority of their House delegation is made up of very conservative Republicans. This is still a conservative state, and you're going to go out there with your Mao and Stalin fantasies tonight? That's not going to fly.
Just more lies, more talking points that they're just trying to get you to believe. It's all lies. So look, Beto being in his hometown or his home state, do you think he delivers?
No. I don't know. No. Him or Castro.
Right. So apparently in the article that we were reading, some leading Democrats are kind of wishing that he would just abandon his presidential run and run to Texas to challenge Senator John Cornyn.
And someone on Facebook, Tracy, is actually pointing out, rightfully so, that this slow lurch towards us becoming, I don't even want to, blue, Texas becoming more and more blue. It's not Texas is changing as much as the people moving into Texas.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it mostly is.
Yeah.
When you mix all the garbage, sorry, Texas, when you mix all the garbage that we're giving you out here in California, plus all the illegals coming up the hoo-ha, well, it shouldn't be a surprise that you're making this lunge towards a blue state.
It's a lunge, but it's not sustainable. I just cannot see Texas, certainly not in the near future, as much as they try to say that as possible. I just can't see that happening. So,
our very own ABC partnering with Univision. It all kicks off tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Just a little rundown for you one more time. Joe Biden, no black kids on the bus, Joe Biden. Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. Boris Sanders, Kamala Harris. Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang. Cory Booker, Beto O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar, and Julian Castro. Just some of the circus monkeys that you have to look forward to tonight.
By the way, Larry Elder, he thought that Donald Trump was going to have a massive victory.
He did.
He did, and he said,
And no one actually, and no one really scared. I mean, he even though he said that he thought it was going to end up being Warren that got it, he still said that nobody really scared him.
Well, he just doesn't think that the things that Warren is running on is really going to speak to America. He may speak to a section of America.
Yeah.
But this is why I don't want Larry Elder saying that. I want Larry Elder and everybody that's going, this is going to be close. Because I want to make sure that every voter that's conservative gets out there.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody.
Well, a lot of you geniuses stayed home in the last midterm, and you see how well that went.
Yeah, please.
We got Congressman T.J. freaking Cox. That's how well that went.
If you think it's going to be...
I'm still mad at all you Republicans, able-bodied Republicans who stayed home during the midterms. Shame on you.
If you think it's going to be a landslide, then make it a demolition. You still get out and vote. But listen, with the three megaphones that you guys hear me talk about between the media and Hollywood and academia, the Republicans, as long as things stay the way they are now, it's never going to be a landslide. It's never going to be a landslide because, our guy Bishop.
Dan Bishop.
All right, so our guy...
Who, by the way, at his victory thing, he had pyrotechnics, guys.
Listen, I'm not saying that
Pyro? How much did that cost? He had fireworks. Fireworks at his victory speech.
Not something I would have done. I would not have recommended that. Clearly, I would not have recommended that.
But anyway.
Listen, McCready lost by 2 percentage points, but McCready had like an $8 million treasure chest to work with. Yeah. He still lost because that's the power of Trump. But that's not, when you have that kind of money, and they're loaded with money. Mm-hmm. There's not going to be anything that's going to be easy because they just can throw so much money at marketing and advertising and phone calls and getting people to do things. And they just have such a treasure chest of money because of the George Soros of the world and his buddies that they honestly, they'll make things difficult at every turn. So please do not sit there thinking, this is going to be a breeze. It will not be a breeze. It will not be a breeze. So, Larry Elder, I love that you think it, but man, don't say it. That's what I got to say.
President, of course, headed to Baltimore tonight for a House Republican fundraiser.
That rat-infested place.
Yes. Watch the food. You're going to be eating there, Mr. President. Anyway, this is the president before he departed to Baltimore just moments ago, some of his remarks. And, of course, we have helicopter noise. That'll be great. Cover your ears.
We gave them a 2-week in honor of President Xi. We gave them a 2-week reprieve, and so we'll be doing the tariffs on October 15th instead of October 5th or 1st. They were going to be set on October 1st. We're moving it to October 15th because they're having their 70th anniversary, and I will do that again in honor of President Xi. And that's it. Any questions?
I love that he said that. That's it. What else you journalist monkeys got for me?
I spoke to Mike Pompeo about that, and he decided, and he and I get along with him so well. We have a lot of the same views and a couple of little different views, but he likes the idea of having somebody in there with him, and I do too. I think that we'll have an answer for you. We have 15 candidates. Everybody wants it badly, as you can imagine, and we'll probably next week sometime make that decision. We look forward to that. We have at least 10 more. A lot of people want the job, and it's a great job. It's great because it's a lot of fun to work with Donald Trump, and it's very easy, actually, to work with him.
Oh,
you know
that's
why it's
classic.
easy? 'Cause I make all
That's
the-
classic.
That's why he's the man. That's why he's the man.
A lot of people want the job because it's fun. It's fun to work with Donald Trump.
Jairus, the reason you want to be here because it's fun to work with me. That's why you're here.
Exactly. Forget a love of politics or country.
No,
Screw all
it's
that.
John Meccico. That's right.
Everyone wants the I love this guy.
That's classic.
You know, it's moments like this when you think, God, politics is
What are we going to do when he leaves?
politics is going to go back to being kind of boring.
6
after
years.
him.
6 years from now, what are we going to do?
No one would have been able to say that. You think Kamala would have said that?
No.
You think? No, probably not.
And the press doesn't even know what he's joking. Do you know what he said? He said that everybody said it was fun, and they're going to make it into this thing. He's having fun. Leave the man alone.
Talk Radio 1680 KGED 442-1680-559-442-1680. 15 minutes away before we take you live to Houston, Texas for the Democratic primary debate. 3 hours, Phil. Are you ready? That's a set. 3 hours. This isn't like 2 hours. Or no, 3 hours.
3 long and arduous hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be bringing that to you. Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
At least
Stay
they have
black.
our commentary.
Yeah.
Stay half black.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Stay half black. Sorry. Forgot about that there. Sheila from Louisiana, how you doing?
Is she on?
Yeah, Sheila's on here.
Sheila.
Say something to Sheila, would you?
Sheila. How are you, Sheila? Oh, my gosh. Who else is on?
Who we got? We got Sheila, we got Michigan Mike, we got Hope, we got Dan, we got Tracy.
Dan M?
Dan E.
Okay.
Yeah, we got Cindy, Belinda.
My girl Joan there. I think Joan's from Philly.
Kyle.
Yo, Kyle. Late.
Kyle called in yesterday.
Yeah.
From late in.
I tell you what, man. Kyle, I love when Kyle calls, man. Kyle always has. He knows his Constitution. He knows U.S. history.
Who's the other history buff?
Oh my gosh, Steve.
Steve
From Illinois is the guy.
Illinois, yeah.
Oh man, Steve. No, we got some players, man. That call in.
We'll give Ben Shapiro a run for his money.
Yeah.
With his constitutional smarts. With our people.
That's when Ben's gonna run when he sees AOC.
How many people out there would want to see a Ben Shapiro versus AOC debate?
Oh, I would pay.
You'd fly out to wherever it is.
Pay per view. Just look, I don't like to see just people getting demolished, but for that one, oh yeah, flight, hotel, front
Flights,
row,
hotel.
I will be there. Oh my God, how many times he has said he's begged them, put me on The View, because he just wants to destroy all of them.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
No, they won't.
No. He'd be dangerous.
They'd rather put up Meghan McCain, who's half a Republican
I tell you
anyway.
what, that's a tough job to have to battle with those women every day. Oh. But no, Ben Shapiro against AOC.
Yeah.
AOC would crap her pants.
Most likely.
Oh my gosh, she'd be like, I've heard of you, but now I see. This is
now I know what's really going on.
This is clearly a big mistake on my part. Oh. And they would be calling him all kinds of names, and there he would be with the yarmulke on his head, like, ladies, hello.
Ben pushes anti-Semitic. Well, hold on. Let me move my yarmulke. Let me move my yarmulke before I answer this question.
You know what, though? I mean, honestly, I can see Ben running on the Democratic ticket, not because he's a Democrat, but just because he wants to battle with her. He doesn't want to wait for her to see if she could get the nominee. He just would want to battle with her. Oh, that would be classic.
You know, what's really scary is we're headed towards the days where AOC One of these days, we're going to come on the air and AOC's the moderate. That's what's going
Well,
to happen.
she would have to wait to what, 20? She's what, 29?
Get Jose.
From this debate, Matt, you told me earlier there's a lot of big, bold ideas from the Democrats we're seeing here on stage, but you said tonight candidates need to connect with people and voters on a personal level.
Yeah, in the end, this race is not going to be decided on ideology. It's going to be decided on how people link up with these voters in their culture that they're in. And so to me, this debate is much more about tone, much more about energy, much more about connection than it is some policy specifics that they may argue.
Ram, Vice President Joe Biden made one of his
Continuous freak show coverage rolls on. And now, Guillermo Moreno, Jairus Jackson, and John Meccico.
7 minutes and 30 seconds. There we go. Just going to wait until we get to the start of this debate. So they're all out on the stage. They're all out on stage, but we didn't get the confirmation on if Yang has a tie or not. So who knows? Maybe you left it at home. You know what? At the 2.5 hour mark, you're probably going to want to use that tie to Epstein yourself if you're listening to this whole thing. Most likely. John.
Oh, my gosh.
What? You might want to Epstein yourself. That's how terrible this 3 hour thing is going to be.
That's going to be the new moniker for ties. You got to Epstein yourself.
Pretty much. All right, John, final debates as we're about to hit the 6 minute mark till we throw it to Houston.
All right, well, I'm telling you that Beto just implodes. Harris is going to be desperate to throw a haymaker and get back in this race because she's lost a ton of points. Do I think she can do it? She may jump if Warren and Bernie jump on this thing where they're jumping on Biden. I could see her piggybacking on that and trying to gain some points that way. But I really think that Kamala Harris's best days behind her.
I do. I think tonight is the beginning of the end for Kamala.
I think Yang says, I'm just going to ride low. I'm not going to try to throw any haymakers. And I'm just going to cruise until some of these people get off stage. Because, the smaller it gets, the smaller the stage gets, well, more voices have to be heard. Or the same voices have to be heard versus everybody just trying to get a soundbite here or there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Beto to be out after this. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so who's the first person to drop out after tonight's debate? Who do you think?
Beto.
Oh, come on now.
I don't think he's got any money.
Beto?
He's broke. I think
he's again, how many times do I have to tell you about the rich, ugly wife? How many times?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I just want him to be out.
Maybe that's...
I think that's what it is.
It's not who you think will get out, but it's who you want to be out.
I'm just so tired of listening to the stupidity.
I got you there. I
don't think Castro can have a lot of money at this point. I don't think that Amy can have a lot of money at this point. If this is really about finances, who's in and who's out. If this is about finances, and if Beto has a bad showing, I just don't think that his campaign is going to be able to draw up enough money. And I just expect him, based on what he has done over the last couple of weeks with all the cursing and with just the nonsense, Yeah, I just don't. That's the guy that I think.
If you really wanted tonight to be fireworks, if you wanted to be a night nobody could forget, we need a Warren going after Bernie.
Yes.
That would be amazing. We would love that.
Warren,
However, I'm convinced that we are not going to get that.
We aren't.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards tonight might be much of a nothing burger because you're going to have a few veiled attempts to try to get to the top. But, I mean, Kamala's campaign is in free fall. Those are her words, by the way, not her campaign. They're trying to, they put, remember the memo that they left at the Denny's? On there, they leave talking points trying to refute the fact that she's in a summer slump, which she absolutely is.
If Warren and Bernie don't go after Biden hard, then Kamala Harris is because she's desperate to get those numbers back because she had high numbers after that first one. I just don't think it's going to play well. And I don't see
the benefit at this point of not. Why are you kowtowing to Joe Biden? Go out there and just ruin him.
Simply that
wreck him. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Wreck him.
Yeah, we'll see.
You want to make a temporary Bernie or Warren fan out of me? Go out there and make Biden wish he never left Delaware.
And I'm telling you, if I'm Biden, I go on the attack. If I have the ability to do it, I hit him right. I hit him with a left hook to the liver right away.
Really?
Yeah, man. I hit him. I let him know I'm not playing.
But okay,
it will mess everybody up.
But that's what Biden needs. Biden so far, it's gaffes and him getting punched in the face trying to put the tissue up to his nose. For once, he needs to be the one that swings first.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, look, there used to be this thing about when a fighter would go up against Mike Tyson. Everybody had a plan until they got hit in the face. The plan would go right out the window. And I think all these people have a plan to maybe take out Biden. But if he hits first, it just messes him up.
Oh, it'll shock the stage. It'll the state, and no one's going to know what to do because that's not what we've expected from him.
Because and his party, his campaign managers, they have to be telling him, nobody believes you can fight. You got to fight. Now let's see if you might be right. He may not have it in him, but he's got to do something like that. He doesn't have to, but it would be smart if he would.
Talk Radio 1680 KGED. The moment is almost here. 3 minutes and 17 seconds to be exact until we take you live to Houston, Texas for the Democratic primary debate. 3 hours, God forbid. Then after that at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we'll bring you live right back here. And then after that, we're going to replay it after that.
Is that Alyssa Milano?
No.
I was like, I know she had a meeting with Cruz about guns, but
I was about to say, wasn't Melissa Milano hanging out with our boy Teddy Cruz earlier today?
Apparently she has 2 guns.
She does?
I think that, again, I didn't read the article, but I thought a little something on it. I was like, I thought that was her there for a brief moment in the blue.
No, that's the thing, too, about that. No one knows, maybe Martha Ratt, no one knows who these AVC journalists are.
Yeah.
All we know is the commentators. But anyway, the 10 circus monkeys, they are at their place on the debate stage. And I must say, give ABC some credit. This is a very large debate hall, much bigger than we've seen the first 2 times around.
They need to.
So they, I don't know, maybe.
Well, it's Texas. Everything's big in Texas.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's a good point. The saying is not.
Ding.
The saying isn't. The saying is not everything is bigger in Miami, which is Miami, which is where they had the first one. Everything bigger in Texas. They're all there. And we got Jorge Ramos, of course, the moderator, and then none of the other ones really matter. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, so
Bill
the
Clinton's fixer.
The odds on Ramos asking a question in Spanish?
It's in Texas, and you've got the leader of Univision there.
So you say absolutely 100%.
There's no,
I agree. And does Beto curse?
No.
You say
I don't know. Maybe he does. If you think he's that desperate, I have no idea.
He's acting desperate.
Yeah.
He is desperate. He's been acting very, very desperate.
Well, just in case he doesn't, here's one for the road.
This is
There's one just for the road. Talk Radio 1680 KGED, the only station in the Central Valley, bringing you live to the Democratic Party primary debate, live from Houston, Texas. It's been great previewing you this, Ron.
Oh, man, we had a good time.
We'll be sitting for here the next 3 hours, suffering right there with you, so don't you worry about it. Then come on back and join us after the debate on our Facebook page or on the AM dial from 9 to 8 Pacific Standard Time. We will have post coverage, and then we'll start all the misery right back again.
Join us then, guys. Looking forward to it.
Talk Radio 1680 KGED, the Central Valley's home for all things campaign 2020. We'll take you live to Houston, Texas, right after this.